How's it going, everyone? It's Ben Foggins Media Corner back again with a brand new video for today. Welcome back to another movie review, aka After I Saw. This time it's going to be on the 2024 satirical body horror film, and that is The Substance. This film stars Demi Moore, who plays a fading celebrity named Elizabeth Sparkle, whom she takes a black market drug, which is a cell-replicating substance that temporarily creates a younger, better version of herself. So that's pretty much the story of The Substance. Now, this film comes to us from the director of Revenge, which I thought was a pretty unique horror movie of 2018. And when I heard she was making a new, different type of horror movie, I was actually really intrigued to see what she was going to be doing here. Because for Revenge, it was a horror film that is in the similar veins to a movie which is I Spit on Your Grave. Whereas for this movie, this is a body horror film, and when it comes to these types of horror movies for myself, there are a few handful of them I enjoy quite a bit, namely from like John Carpenter, David Lynch, and even David Cronenberg. And I did check out this movie on opening day, which was the 20th of September of this year, and I did see this in a pretty big screening with a fair amount of people in it, even though it wasn't really much of a full house. But after seeing this movie here, I gotta say here, guys, this movie is truly one of the most disturbing horror movies I've seen in years here. But yet, it's one that I found myself having a blast here from beginning to end here. First off, Demi Moore is absolutely phenomenal in this movie, and I would even say this is one of her best performances that she's ever given of her career here, where she pushes a whole lot of capabilities for her character in this movie here, which goes in a way that is really hard to watch, but she nailed all that here through the majority of this movie here, especially for the moment that we see in the trailer where she's doing her makeup and she constantly goes back and forth redoing it, in which that scene was truly horrifying to watch. And Margaret Qualley's in this movie, and I thought she was absolutely fantastic in the movie, where she plays the younger version of Demi Moore's character in the movie, where she brings a whole lot of charismatic energy to herself within this movie here, which I thought she nailed all that here. And Dennis Quaid's in this movie, and I thought he was a lot of fun, but yeah, he's really over the top in the movie. And when it comes to the direction of this movie here by the director of this film, as well as the editing here, I found all of that to be really strong here through the majority of this film, where this film does tend to have some like inspirations from like various body horror films from like either John Carpenter, David Lynch, and even David Cronenberg. But it does double down on its own ideas here from being a body horror film here, where this film does tend to have some elements that tends to be really grotesque and really gory, in which when it came to all that here within this movie, they were absolutely insane and yet very sickening to watch. Like there were times as I was watching the film while eating my popcorn, I nearly felt physically sick to my stomach, and when it came to a few more of that, I had to just immediately stop eating when it came to some of those moments within this movie. And when it comes to the effects in the film, I found it to be really amazing through the majority of this film here in terms of makeup here. And when it comes to the script for the film, I found it to be so smart here, where it's basically the whole fitting nature of body horror, but it also like touches on like our own worst enemy, which is basically our body, as well as with our thoughts about how we feel about ourselves, which I thought all of that was well balanced and yeah, well portrayed here within this movie here. And I found myself really intrigued for the majority of this film when it came to all that as well, due to its overall incredible concept here for this film, as well as where the film follows its own rules here, where it's basically about the whole evolution about the substance and how it affects the two leads that we do follow within this movie here when they do take the substance here in this film. And even the third act of the film here, it was something that I did not see coming here. And the best way I can describe the whole third act of this movie here, it's so nightmarish here. But yeah, I had a blast when it came to that. And the only gripe I can only pick out with this movie here is that the film is 2 hours and 20 minutes, and I kind of wish a few minutes of the film could have been just trimmed down just a little bit here. And that's the only thing I can only find that I did find myself kind of a bit bothered with as I was watching the film here. But all in all, The Substance, this movie was truly a blast from start to finish here. And if you're a fan of like these types of horror films, like a body horror, or you're a fan of the director's previous work, or you're a fan of like any of the stars like Demi Moore, I would definitely say this is definitely a good recommendation for myself here to check out. So that's pretty much all I'd say about The Substance. I'm going to give The Substance 4.5 out of 5. Yeah, it's truly indeed another one of my favorite horror films to come out this year here. And like I said, if you're a fan of like these types of horror films here, it's definitely one I really recommend you check out in the slightest here. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my After I Saw review on The Substance. And let me know what you think of this movie, if you have seen this already, or if you just recently checked this out. Did you have a blast with this, or was this not your cup of tea? As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and this has been Fargeat's Media Corner signing off.